you a bit of a tour around the garden and see what's flowering, what's fruiting, what's going on, where I need to weed, what sort of jobs I've got to do. And since the rain has stopped, I thought I'd take you with me. So let's go and have a look around. First of all, I've noticed some flowers. So these are native violets. They're edible. The leaves are edible too. And you can see I've been using it as an edible mulch in this pot. Oh, there's a weed. Get rid of that. But yes, look at these beautiful flowers. It's a great ground cover for the shade. All right, let's go see what else we can find. I'm going over into the section of the garden that borders our rainforest, and I've been really working hard to cultivate plants that will attract butterflies to this area so that they will use the host trees and the host vines in the rainforest. So there's my native ginger, edible roots, berries, and those leaves can wrap different fishes and meats. Okay, we'll come across here. Now these are native, but this particular colour of pentas is the one that I have found is most attractive to butterflies. So that's why it's here. And then for the same reason, I've got these cosmos. I've always loved cosmos. I love any daisy kind of flower. In a pot here, we've got a baby beach almond, which I'm growing for out the front. And it looks like this area needs some weeding. I have been letting my cosmos go to seed so that it will self-seed in this area, and there are some baby ones coming up. This is one of my favorites, this blue tongue plant. It's not flowering at the moment. It's obviously being eaten. The thing is that I noticed with these is they go through a stage after you just plant them where they take forever. They just sit there and do nothing, and then suddenly they just burst into life. So that's not happened with these yet, although I am starting to see some extra foliage coming up on these, which means that it should grow pretty fast soon. There's a native tamarind in a pot. I really need to get that in the ground somewhere. The reason that the pots are in amongst the plants over here is because we have bush turkeys, and the bush turkeys like to dig everything up. So I put the pots there to keep the roots safe until plants are established. Now a rather contentious one here. This is the rosella plant. It's a type of hibiscus. And some people will tell you that it's native to Australia. Some people will say it's definitely not. I can say it was, according to what I've researched, it was introduced. But it was introduced earlier than colonial settlement. They think it was introduced through the northern parts of Australia by people in boats from Asia. Now, we've got some black sapote. I know they're not native, but I grow them because the, spectacled fruit bats just love them. And our spectacled fruit bats are in decline. They are in trouble, so I want to give them things that might help them sustain their population. Oh, here is a caterpillar of some kind. Now, there's no way I'm doing anything to that caterpillar. That caterpillar is welcome in my garden because it's going to be a moth or a butterfly. Over here, we have a pot where I am trying to rescue my native mint. This is Mentha diamenica, and it's beautiful smelling, lovely ground cover, but I did let it dry out a bit too much in its last location. It's a really delicate balance, that one. You can overwater, underwater. Okay. Now here, look at these luscious leaves. This is native mulberry. They're looking very healthy. They're getting a bit eaten. This is my male. I'm pretty sure, because I've never seen it flower. They do come in. I think it was just getting too much sun. So I dug it up and here ever since it's thrived. So don't be afraid to dig up your plants. This one here is female, and it's a cutting. You can see the flowers there. It's a cutting from a very successful plant that I had when I lived in the southeast Queensland region, so more than 2,000 kilometres away, but it's quite happy here. All right. So that's part of the garden. Let's go to another part. Around here is, originally it was my permaculture area, but it kind of didn't work. So we have, I'll show you. All right. Look at that. That's what it's like when they've had time to establish and they're happy in their position. You can see they're an absolutely beautiful plant. They're called native Tibucina sometimes. Why would you buy a Tibucina if you can get the native equivalent? And usually it is just covered in bees. So look, I can see one there. It's a smiley bee, Melatidia tomentifera. You can see it there, busily buzz pollinating. Buzz pollinating is where they vibrate their bodies to release the pollen. Oh, here's another buzz pollinator over here. This is the beautiful disruptive masked bee. They're a bit shyer, they don't like to be filmed, but I'll see if I can get some focus on that so you can see, because they are stunning. All right, lots of weeding needs to be done here, obviously, and I really need to chop back this macaranga because it's coming down over the top of my finger limes. This is a cluster fig, and it's grown around the world, actually. Well, not around the world, around Asia. I believe the leaves are edible, but they're quite tough, so I haven't really looked into that as much yet. I really need to do some weeding here. And in amongst all these weeds, you can see this leaf here. This is the really rare Russell River finger lime. And it doesn't seem to mind being choked in. In fact, it does better when it's all like covered in shade. But I do want it to have some room to breathe, so I need to weed there. All right, and up here you can see, here's another finger lime, growing, and oh no, this little finger lime's deteriorated since I last checked on it. I wonder what's happened there. Now that could simply be that it's been eaten by some kind of caterpillar, which is fine. They come back really well, finger limes, from caterpillars, and I can see there's lots of green there. But geez, they've done a job on it. This pretty little thing here, I think that might be the native grapevine. Anyway, I need to get out of this shady area because I'm getting covered in mosquitoes. We just come up through these weeds, and I do weed this, like we whippersnip it and everything that's possible. This gorgeous bundle here, I'm hoping this will be its first year flowering. This is native cardamom. It's native to this area, and it gets a beautiful red flower down near the base. So I need to clean that out. Not native, but these are avocados that I grew myself from seed. There's an episode on that if you want to see it. I'm really happy with how big they've grown. So that's that part of the garden. And obviously I can see I have lots of weeding to do, but that's just a gardening thing, right? Okay, heading through here. And let's see how my macadamia nut tree is going. So there it is. When I planted this not long ago, or just a few months ago, it was about this high, so it has really managed to shoot up there. Once again, lots of weeds. Oh, this thing is the bane of my existence, this bitter melon. That vine is impossible to get rid of. And we've got some Dianella grasses down there. Okay, heading through. This horrible alamander hedge is something I want to get rid of, because even though it's got those big, beautiful yellow flowers, I've never seen a single pollinator in them. All right, let's go check out my hedge, which is a mixed native hedge. And it's had a lot of problems due to pests, and it's a very sunny position. So this is a lemon myrtle. It keeps getting eaten, but I use a molasses spray on it. I've got a video on that, and that helps me protect it. Here's the rest of the hedge. Now, recently I took out the lead tree on the hedge because it was just too sunny. And I've planted this Leptospermum cardwell. It's a tea tree, and I got it from the TLC rack at the nursery, so it's a little bit sad at the moment, but I'm hoping it will bounce back now that it's in the ground. That's a golden melaleuca. Got a lemon tea tree. Oh, the foliage on this. Every time I walk past it, I have to pick some and crush it in my hands and smell it because it's divine. And this one here is a grevillea. I think it's just a Robin Gordon. I could be wrong. Could be Grevillea banksii. This one here is another Leptospermum. I've temporarily forgotten which one, but I know that it has beautiful white flowers. This is cinnamon myrtle. Fun fact that during the Second World War, when they couldn't, or was it the First? Well, during the World Wars, when they couldn't get spices through, they would dry these leaves and powder them up and use it as a cinnamon substitute. This is a ryeberry, and as you can see, all the new foliage keeps getting eaten. Sometimes I see grasshoppers on it, but I'm also wondering whether something else is coming in during the night and eating it. Bird baths, because I must have bird baths everywhere. Let me just check that there's no mosquito larvae. There's mosquito larvae, I always empty it. Now, this is my rather sick aniseed myrtle, but it is coming better on the other side. And this is the side that gets the more shade at this time of year, so I think it just needs more shade. This is my wedge-leaved hotbush, and it was this skinny little stick of a plant when I planted it about 18 months ago, and look at it. It's just like my best hedge plant ever. So it comes in male and female, so I want to get some more of them so that I can actually make sure that I've got male and female, and then maybe I can make hops or use the hops to make beverages. This gorgeous leafy thing is a lemon aspen. This is the rainforest species, the one that grows on the mountain. It's a white fruit, which is supposed to be the better tasting. And this is the lowland form of the same plant. And it has a yellow fruit. You can see that it's got some kind of pest going on there, but it's grown, it's doubled in size in the last 3 months, so it really likes the wet season. This is a white pender, and the butterflies and bees are supposed to love it, but it's obviously very small yet. This is a beach hibiscus, and all these red leaves are edible. The little baby ones, and the flowers are edible, but everything over this side of the garden gets eaten, and I think it's because all the beneficial predator species are over near the rainforest. They don't tend to come over here because it's so exposed. I'm hoping to change that by putting in a bridging garden around the front there. And here we have another lemon tea tree. Look at it. It's so healthy and big. And once again, I have to crush and smell. And this is a melaleuca. Look at that baby. Now, that was just a skinny stick. And I was furious because my partner ring barked it. And then, all of a sudden, after ring barking, it just threw out these new branches. And look at it. It's become a lovely hedging bush. So he always says he helped me get better plants, so I guess he did. And this one here is a callistemon, usually a bottle brush, but this one has more ball-like flowers apparently. It's called Great Balls of Fire, and you can see that I planted it about 3 months ago, and it was, honest to goodness, about 5 inches high. And look at it now. It's just gone mental. And this here is thyme honey myrtle. which is a fantastic pollinator plant. It's not flowering at the moment, which is a bit unusual. Usually there's at least a couple of flowers on it. It has beautiful purple flowers. Okay, well, the rain is starting to come across again, so I'm going to head inside and clean up the kitchen. When it stops raining, I'll be back out here to start some of that weeding. Ooh, so much weeding, but it's really good to do after the rain because the ground's nice and soft. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, please don't forget to hit the like button. Please subscribe, share it around. If I can get this channel monetized, then I will be able to spend more time on my production, which means that I can create better quality productions, as well as simply indulge in something I love in the hope that it will bring some plant joy to others. Thanks again. I'll see you next time.